Holy crap, for a B-tier pay-per-view, Clash of the Castle cooked. It was fire, man. I wasn't going to do a review, but now I got it. I got it because it was so freaking good. I'll take a quick little WWE PLE on a Saturday afternoon any day of the week, and that Scottish crowd, these foreign crowds are awesome. I'm loving that decibel meter. Keep that decibel meter up. Please bring it to America and shame us. Those guys hitting 106, 107, we'd probably be lucky to hit 48. That interaction with the crowd, it even made DIY interesting on SmackDown. I love these crowds that are just so into everything. Bring that decibel meter to America. We need to start shaming our people into actually getting our hands from under our butts and just cheering for our people or booing our people. Let's start with Cody Rhodes. I cannot believe it. Roman Reigns never would have gone on first, all right? The only time he didn't go last is when there was a Royal Rumble. Otherwise, even in tag matches, that dude was going on last. Oh, poor Cody, and then he got the name thing wrong. Not a good look, Cody. His match was good. I don't need to go play by play, punch by punch with this match. It was a good match. When AJ was about to hit the mom with the chair, or, you know, kind of alluded to that, that was funny. That was a moment, but, okay, it was a good match. Afterwards, we got the next challenger, Solo Sikoa. That was a moment, too. I was like, ooh, here we go. And then, instantly, the Bloodline gets beat up by KO Randy Orton again. Just showcasing, this is the Wish version of the Bloodline. Kind of wish they would have just beat up Cody and walked away. And no KO, no Randy Orton. But it is what it is. Cody Rhodes had a successful title defense. I think the seeds are being planted. When Randy Orton came and saved Cody, the way he looks at the belt, I think that's what they're setting up. So when Cody and the Bloodline feud with each other, I think the end result is Randy Orton helps Cody until Randy Orton turns on Cody, and then we go right to SummerSlam, and that's their program. And when Solo loses to Cody, I bet Roman Reigns returns and says, losing has consequences. But that's probably for another video. Let's go to the next match, which was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler, Elba Fire and Isla Dawn. We got new champions, Elba Fire and Isla Dawn. I guess they needed someone in Scotland to win a belt because everybody else didn't, but this was a interesting call. I really thought Jade and Bianca would have held the title longer because this match demonstrated that Jade still needs some more, you know, in-ring time. I was worried towards the end. Jade did a botch, not the only botch in the show, mind you me. She botched coming in, and it was the ending sequence, so things were going really fast, and that's very unfortunate. However, I do believe she kept up, but it seemed like she was one step behind the entire time. I'm gonna tell you this, it's kind of weird, but I'm kind of glad it happened. I'm really kind of glad it happened, and not because I want her to be embarrassed or anything, because when you have a botch, you need to be able to recover and move forward. And you will see later on with Damian Priest that he was able to do just exactly that. And I think only for a moment she was shook, right? And she was stepped behind because it did look like she was tapping with Shayna Baszler, and I was wondering in my head, is she like cashing out? Has she lost her confidence? Does she think she needs to just lose because she doesn't know what's happening? Then the match continued. I think Bianca kind of stepped in and Shayna Baszler kind of kept things going, and we had the original finish. But if you look, she was doing her moves. Jade Cargill never stopped. It feels like Jade was a little less confident after that botch, which is totally understandable. And the reason why I'm kind of glad it happened here, because get that experience under your belt, because we're all going to make mistakes, right? We're all going to make mistakes, and we gotta have these kind of experiences so we know what to do when we're at the WrestleMania level, because you don't want to botch at WrestleMania, right? But if you do, you got to be able to recover and just go like it's nothing, right? So these are the experiences that Jade actually needs. It would have been better on a house show, but a botch like this is actually good because get these out of the way here in the B-tier PLEs instead of the top tier SummerSlam, WrestleMania, those kind of pay-per-views. And then they were able to get the belts off her, going to Elba Fire, Isla Dawn, which good. That's great. I'm okay with that. This does allow them to not lose the titles and still kind of they're very protected. They didn't lose the title. Someone else got pinned. They're protected. They can now probably split up, go on singles runs, and still be friends. The match, I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked that Chad Gable lost. Chad Gable lost to Sami Zayn. We had a really good match. We had back and forth. We had false finishes. We had drama with Otis and Maxine. In the end, Otis left with Maxine and Chad Gable lost. I'm really worried. I thought Chad Gable re-signed, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. He can go and feud with Otis, but it's not going to be the same. Unless he does a feud with Otis where it's like, if I win, you have to listen to me no matter what. And then he goes back to the IC title hunt. I don't know. Chad Gable is now like 0-5 to Sami Zayn. How does Chad get back into the title hunt? He already kind of pulled the one more match and he kind of like goaded Sami into it. You can only do that so many times. I love Chad Gable and stuff, but to turn him heel like they did and then not give him the title eventually, it's like, oh, I don't know. I was very disappointed with this outcome. I guess I'm just going to have to trust Triple H has built a lot of good faith that I can put it back. I don't agree with the decision, but it was still entertaining, and I was shocked, and that's good. You want a shocked fan. I've been watching wrestling for 35 years, and he shocked me. He shocked me later on, too, in the night, and that was an even bigger shock, and I knew it was coming. That's the beautiful part. We'll talk about that after Bayley and Piper Niven. Honestly, the star of this was Chelsea Green. I am really digging Chelsea Green. She is so funny. She is so great. I loved what she was saying on the pre-show with Michael Cole. Oh, we're friends. We. I loved how her interaction that got her kicked out of the match. I love when she came down as a luchador. Side note, I love Wade Barrett's reaction. Who is this? Wade Barrett actually was cooking also. Wade Barrett, definitely, he impressed me in this match. The match wasn't anything special to me. Bayley, she's going to always put on a good match. Build-up wasn't anything spectacular other than the Piper Niven promo. That was a great promo like 2 weeks ago. And other than that, nothing really crazy, but the final sequence, how Bayley actually got the pin, I did like that. I really did like that and enjoyed it. So Bayley gets the win on Piper Niven. I'm glad she got a match in front of her people. And then we go to Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. And boy, howdy, I got legit scared for Damian Priest. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not a Damian Priest fan. I don't connect with him. It's not that I hate him. It's just I don't have any feelings towards him. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I'm just like, oh, it's Damian Priest time, I guess. I'll just watch this. I'll sit here and feel nothing. Ironically, it's his botch that made me sit up and notice him. He did this thing where he was supposed to like use the rope to springboard onto Drew McIntyre, I believe, and he totally botched it. A big botch. A botch so bad that nobody's even going to be talking about Jade Cargill's botch. He got like twisted in the ropes, and those ropes are tight. Those ropes are like jet cable ropes. Those ropes could decapitate someone. And he's caught in it. The referee couldn't get him out. It was in the beginning of the match. For real, everything could have changed right then and there. And they played it off. Drew kicked him a couple times. Drew tried to buy some time, played with the crowd. Eventually, he comes back in the ring. He says, I can't beat him if he's like this. So he gave the crowd a reason why he was freed him. Because in a real match, you're just going to kill the guy. I want to fight this guy. I want to beat this guy. I'm not going to give up an advantage. But he had to give up an advantage if he wanted to win the belt. So that was really good. And then he freed him. And then he was limping throughout the entire match. And I don't know if it was a legit limp or if it was a limp that he was just selling because that happened. Either way, impressive. If he remembered to sell throughout the entire match, I love that. Because wrestling, we're supposed to suspend our disbelief, but we are supposed to also act like it's real at the same time. On the other side, if he was really injured, that match that he continued, it was a good big man match. He continued a very solid big man match that he was limping on. And when you're having a big to big man match, that's tough on your leg, your ankle that he hurt. It was great. It was awesome. They could have cashed it in right there. I'm sure if he would have just put up the X, I need the doctor, nobody probably would have judged him any less. But no, he continued the match and it was really good. That is how you continue a match. That is when the veteran skills take place. And I'm really glad it happened early in of the match, because if it had happened at the end, that's what everybody would have been talking about. Just like when Brock Lesnar did the moonsault flip on Kurt Angle, that's all we remember about it. But had it happened in the beginning of the match, maybe it wouldn't be something that we still talk about. So I'm really glad that it wasn't towards the end when that's the last thing we would remember, because that final sequence, oh my god, what a swerve. I did a prediction video where I said CM Punk would cost Drew McIntyre the title, right? I flat out have proof that I called it. And yet, I was shocked and surprised how they pulled it off. It totally swerved me. I didn't think it was happening anymore. I thought I was just wrong, and then it happens. CM Punk, the balls on that guy walking to Scotland and do that to Drew. What a soldier Drew McIntyre is. What a soldier. Here's a guy who just had the biggest contract signing of his career. He probably put in his contract that he is headlining Clash at the Castle, and he could have probably put, and I win, and yet he sees the bigger picture, allows himself to lose because he's in a situation where his character actually is stronger when he loses, because now he's going to come to Raw with fire. That is the best thing going right now. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and now Damian walks out of this Priest looking great. Honestly, he looks great. He doesn't look like this weak champion. No, he looks super strong, because even through a screw-up, a mess-up, he continued a match that was really, really good. Everybody walks out of here winners. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, CM Punk. The heat on everybody is so good. And then not just that, but Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett throughout this entire match, he was so funny. I am loving Wade Barrett right now as a commentator. The way he's like, CM Punk needs to be fired. If Drew loses, he's Scottish. If he wins, he's British. Just, the guy was brilliant. I never liked Wade Barrett until tonight. I opened my eyes on a bunch of people tonight. Wade Barrett, Damian Priest, Chelsea Green. This PLE really sold the talent. These B-level PLEs are so good. WWE is so good right now. I implore you, go catch it. The way CM Punk came out too, chef's kiss. Heel CM Punk is so good. I doubt he'll be heel CM Punk back in America, and it'll be back to whiny Drew McIntyre, but for tonight, heel CM Punk, we got him, and it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I called it, and yet I was still swerved. That's how good that they did it. That was the pay-per-view. Really good stuff here. I definitely acknowledge Drew McIntyre for, allowing this story to play out the way it is, and I definitely acknowledge Damian Priest for continuing the match the way he did. Great job, and Jade Cargill too. I acknowledge her. Great job as well, Jade. For a rookie, the way you handled your botch, top notch. You were just a step behind. You kept going. Guys, girls, comment below. Tell me what you thought of this PLE. You get a chance to win one of those belts. Once I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm giving a belt away. Don't forget to acknowledge the subscribe button. Have a great day.